Hello, you are live. I like to wear my sunglasses because I think I'm cool. Hello. Okay, good. Yes, I can. Hold on.
I'll say that for $29.95. $29.95. The whole kit, the whole suit with one nightstand. That's a very good deal. And what I do, I keep that one on the floor and get you one out of the pack. So I can get it I just sold that suit. That's what they just picked up. But now I sold her one. I had one in the factory plastic, so you can get that if you need it. I just sold it. It's been delivered as we speak. But I had a backup, is what I'm saying. And my guys took it. And you see that swivel chair is an odd piece to go with it. That swivel chair behind you, that's an accent piece. Oh yeah. You can get it. I put it in the marketplace. She saw it. So I just wait for my money to get right this Christmas gift. I told her we all do that.
How can I apply that? I know I got
It's
it.
simple. Just can you just click on that? Yes. I give you the number if you want to do that. We do have our business with the same.
And I'm trying to figure out what it's gonna play like.
Oh yeah. If you save a bunch of money, you do that.
totally innocent.
Is it just like you said that I can't allow to
Southern part.
Yes.
When I say southern part, when I say 10,000 troops, I'm referring to the capital.
Oh, I see.
I offered 10,000 troops to the capital before January 6th.
And as for the 1,500 at the cemetery, so I can clarify, what exactly are you doing right now?
I can check that the water is safe and secure and that we're also. I don't know, but I think we should make it big. No, each one of them. Well, it's going to be like that. It should be all of them. People have to deal with very, very smart. But Elon, one of the people happens to have certain hundreds of people to serve China. Which one? China, they have a lot of power over Russia. They supply energy to Russia. And Russia supplies energy to them. They supply other things. Russia, we're a big trading partner. Russia supplies a lot of energy to China. China pays a lot of money. And I think they have a lot of power over Russia. So I think Russia should want to make, maybe they want to make it. Like I said, as soon as we can. I'm here immediately. Every day we don't meet soldiers being killed on the battlefield.
Okay, I have to just want to go back to the city state. I think I'm going to get out of it. I don't think that's going to go.
I have that
Military
that you don't want to see.
time.
Soldiers being killed.
Well, that's just great. That's how you just, you work it.
I haven't seen it.
Well, I wait on, I told you that. So listen, my son, he's brought that house across the street. And my wife's over at painting, and she just got here, so I'll be here as long as I need to. You know what, that's exactly the same thing she did. She came in, what she saw on Facebook, was crazy. And when she came in, she knocked out. Honey, that's the truth. That's the whole truth. None of it. She came in and looked at, she says, this is what I saw on Facebook. She said, I like this. I like this. Well, yeah, you got it. We clean mild soap and water, just water foul off. Mild soap and water. Yes, ma'am.
Shoot down our ships, or any ships, and that's what they've been doing. So, and they're on the terrorist. That's not good for them.
So that's security protection.
I say that like I'm this way. I say I'm proud. So I can work a little bit.
Yeah, y'all come up here. We'll do it today.
Thank you.
Protection you can have.
We appreciate you. I appreciate you shopping with me, okay?
Guarding people for the rest of their lives. It's risks to everything.
Hello, welcome. Hello, welcome.
Various people over the next couple of days. But hopefully that can be worked out without having to worry about it. It would be nice. It would really be nice if that could be worked out without having to go that further. So, about the next thing, very high level. But hopefully that can be worked out. You know, look around. Hopefully it won't be a big deal. If they don't make a deal, I guess that's okay too.
Just to follow up, you said you think the Fed should listen to you. Can you elaborate on why you think they should?
With regard to interest, because I think I know interest rates much better than they do. And I think I know it super much better than the one who's primarily in charge of making that decision. But no, I'm guided by them very much. But if I disagree, I will let it be known.
So you're clear that the plan for China, Mexico are much tougher. The ones for Canada, Mexico are much tougher than the ones for China. Why is it softer than China?
Well, China's already laying a lot of terrorist things in it. And
Hello, welcome.
I think 300,000 lives a year, because people say 150, 100, 120. I think 300,000 lives a year, those are all numbers. The other numbers I don't remember, and we can't have that, they're gonna stop it. I had a deal with President Xi, but it was a deal that wasn't followed up by Biden, of course. That way they would issue the death penalty to people that make fentanyl, and they would have stopped it. But, we'll have to stop the tariffs.
And thank you very much, everyone.
Transparent, accessible, freewheeling, refreshing from the White House. You just saw President Donald Trump signing more executive orders and talking to the press on a whole host of issues as he keeps up the momentum 72 hours into his new presidency. He signed orders on cryptocurrency, declassifying JFK files, and pardons for pro-life protesters. We'll get to all of that more in just a moment. But first, we have more breaking news to kick off this hour of the Will Kane Show. This afternoon, a federal judge temporarily blocking President Trump's executive order on birthright citizenship, calling it blatantly unconstitutional. Those leading the challenge against the order say more than 150,000 newborn children would be denied citizenship every year if this order stands. President Trump saying the battle isn't over yet.
Mr. President, a U.S. judge temporarily blocks the birthright citizenship order. Do you have any reaction?
No, obviously, we'll, they put it before a certain judge in Seattle, I guess, and there's no surprises with that judge.
There's a lot of hysteria around the birthright citizenship executive order, but the idea behind President Trump's order is nothing new, at least around the world. Allow me to explain. Some context might help give a perspective to this area. First, number one, birthright citizenship is not the norm around the world. Only about 30 countries, mostly in the Western Hemisphere, recognize the idea that if you're born on their soil, you have as your birthright citizenship. No, instead, most of the world, Europe, Asia, Africa, work like Australia. This is how it works in Australia. In Australia, if a child is born to a permanent resident or a citizen of one of the parents of that child in Australia, then they are a citizen. Or an alternative, if that child resides in Australia for a decade after birth, they can apply for citizenship. Now, as I mentioned, very few countries around the world recognize birthright citizenship, and some that previously have repealed the concept. I'll give you the Dominican Republic and Ireland. Ireland in 2004 became the last European country to recognize birthright citizenship. They repealed that measure in 2004 percent referendum. The Dominican Republic repealed birthright citizenship in 2013 as they were flooded with illegal immigrants from Haiti, some 200,000 children from Haiti born in the DR. We're now being told will be the number of children born here that would not have citizenship if we repeal birthright citizenship. Now, let's give some background on the Supreme Court case that helped establish the concept of birthright citizenship. It goes back to 1898. The case was the U.S. versus Wong Kim Ark. Wong Kim Ark was a 21-year-old Chinese immigrant who was born here in the United States. He left at 21 to go visit relatives in China. When he came back to the United States, he was denied re-entry. Supreme Court eventually heard the case of Wong Kim Ark, and the question was, what does the language of the 14th Amendment mean for birthright citizenship? I want to, if I may, read for you the language of the 14th Amendment. It reads simply as follows: all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. But the key phrase for legal scholars that want to see this fight go to the Supreme Court is what is meant by subject to the jurisdiction thereof. If someone is born to parents of another country, are they not subject to the jurisdiction of, say, Mexico? Let's bring in Fox News legal editor Carrie Berg on all of this. Carrie, great to have you right now. Let's start with the strategy behind the executive order and now this federal judge that has said that the executive order to go to birthright citizenship is blatantly unconstitutional. Is this setting us up for a fight at the Supreme Court?
Yeah, I certainly think so. Now, of course, we know the Supreme Court doesn't have to take it up into possession and make its way there, but that seems to be the strategy, and I think it's a good one, because this is a fascinating legal question that Will's been debated, as you're pointing out, for a very long time now. Scholars on both sides of the aisle have been debating the meaning of that clause that you just laid out. And the judge, in his issuing and signing the TRO today, when he said something like, "I never heard the charge today," and I found myself, how do you say that? I mean, I'm reading the case and what's going on around this bill, including from retired Second Circuit Judge Richard Posner, who he thought this was unconstitutional. And it happened to be a former colleague of mine from DOJ, Rich Street, who's a very good constitutional law attorney who's arguing that case. So they'll go and argue the merits of this in just a couple of weeks from now. Question.
We should inform the audience, as we started to right there, that this has been somewhat settled precedent since 1898. And the Supreme Court has read the concept of birthright citizenship to mean born on this soil. Now, the current Supreme Court is full of justices who can be described as originalists. That means they look back to the original or intention of the people that framed the Constitution. The 14th Amendment, that would be in the 1800s. Do you think, therefore, that the Supreme Court justices would actually go back and uphold the idea that if you're born here on this soil, you have birthright?
We would certainly go back to the intent behind the 14th Amendment, and the intent behind it was very clear. It was to undo the great harm that occurred because of the terrible Supreme Court Dred Scott decision, which said that African Americans, after living here for hundreds of years, enslaved people were not citizens. And so that amendment was enacted directly to undo that wrong. And, what I don't think most people know is there was a senator from Michigan who wrote the clause, that phrase, subject to the jurisdiction thereof. He specifically gave speeches at the time that said that means it excludes aliens. So that was the understanding for many years until the Supreme Court handed down the decision in 1898, the case we were just talking about. And even there, when they interpreted it a different way, they did emphasize that the parents of that Chinese national have been, quote, permanently domiciled in the United States for a very long time. And if you remember the history around that kind of context, it was almost impossible for Chinese nationals to even become citizens. Right. So the fact, the time, the zeitgeist, it was very different than, say, now when people are using it as a technical loophole to, embark on birth tourism.
Right. I'm glad you pointed out the 14th Amendment was couched in doing away with that terrible Dred Scott decision. Of course, the African slaves, citizenship. But just to put some color on what you got to say, Senator Jacob Howard, draft that amendment, the 14th Amendment, said, this will not, of course, include persons born in the United States who are foreigners or aliens or belong to the subject of another jurisdiction. That seems original intent. This seems to be a fascinating fight, potentially, at the Supreme Court. Carrie Lund, thank you so much for your witness.
Thank you.
All right, now to another Fox News alert. On Capitol Hill, moderate Republicans Lisa Murkowski and Susan Collins say they will oppose Pete Hegseth's nomination for Secretary of Defense. And Fox's Aisha Hackney on where that vote breakdown stands right now. Aisha?
Hey there, well, you know that you just need a simple majority to get through confirmation. That's 51 votes. Republicans have a 53 majority, so they can actually lose 3 Republicans. Losing Senators Murkowski and Collins will not hurt Pete Hegseth. He actually cleared his initial vote, cloture vote, which is overcoming the filibuster earlier this afternoon. And that is a big deal. He got 51 votes. Including Mitch McConnell, who we're also watching and waiting to see how he would vote. So that means that he is now headed to his final confirmation vote. Again, lost Lisa Murkowski and Susan Collins. Both of them say, well, that they could not vote for him because of the past allegations, and they just didn't feel like he was prepared to lead such a large department like the Pentagon. Now, if Democrats and Republicans do not come to a time agreement, which we're not sure about that just yet, we're waiting to find out, then Hegseth wouldn't see a confirmation vote until at least Friday night, sometime around 9 p.m. John Ratcliffe just got confirmed this afternoon for CIA director. That was also delayed because of the same reason, and that is that Democrats are jamming up the Senate right now. They're forcing Republicans to debate debate for 30 hours on really all of Trump's nominees. And as Chuck Schumer told me this morning, Will, that includes nominees who actually have a bipartisan support. Watch this.
On the nominees that do have Democratic support, bipartisan support, because there are some like John Ratcliffe. Do you support Chris Murphy slowing this confirmation process down, and do you think that's going to happen with other bipartisan?
I have some doubts about Mr. Ratcliffe, so I think it's for a day or two or a few hours to examine these nominees who have such power thoroughly. Absolutely.
So, well, at this point, the headline is that Pete Hegseth, it looks like, will sail to confirmation, and he won't need Vice President J.D. Vance to come here to set it break a tie. It looks like he's going to get those 51 Republicans on his own. Back to you.
Well, that is very good news. Thank you, Aisha. If I might quickly, for Senator Collins and Senator Murkowski, I read a statement put out by Senator Murkowski. It appears to me as though she's accepted anonymous allegations, unverified reports, both professionally and personally, about Pete Hegseth that have been magnified by corrupted media. She's taken that from the direct testimony of, say, someone like me, who was sat next to Pete Hegseth for 5 years. She wrote, by the way, in her statement that, above all, she values character. What I would suggest is you might look into the character of the man who volunteered twice to go to war. You might listen to the war fighters who vouch for Pete Hegseth's character. You might read any of the books he's written that make him a subject matter expert on the Department.
Hello, welcome.
You might listen to the direct testimony of people that have known Pete Hegseth for over a decade.
I think him 40 is probably too much. Okay, sorry about that. We're remodeling across the street, and nobody's on here, so it doesn't matter. If you're watching this later, just skip through that 20-minute window here with me running to the bank to pay my workers. Okay,